All right, folks, buckle up because we're diving headfirst, or should I say balls first, into one of rock and roll's cheekiest anthems. You know the one, AC/DC's Big Balls. Yeah, that song. The one that pops up at parties, makes your grandma pretend she didn't hear it, and has been giggling its way through playlists since the 70s. Even if you've never blasted it full volume, admit it. You've hummed that chorus under your breath at least once, probably while dodging an awkward glance from a co-worker. It's universal, like bad coffee or regretting that last tequila shot. But today, we're not just scratching the surface. We're cracking open the full story of how this track went from a pub joke to a cultural grenade. We'll uncover the spark that lit the fuse, the album chaos that birthed it, the myths and mayhem that propelled it to legend status, and the weird ripples it's still sending through the world. And trust me, by the end, you'll be seeing double entendres everywhere. Let's roll. Picture this. It's the mid-1970s and AC/DC is grinding through the Aussie pub circuit like a freight train on steroids. Bon Scott, that gravel-voiced legend with a grin like a Cheshire cat who's seen too many bar fights, is fronting the band. Bon wasn't just a singer. He was a storyteller, a larrikin with a knack for turning everyday absurdity into gold. Now, Big Balls didn't drop from the sky like some divine rock revelation. Nah, it sparked from Bon's twisted sense of humor, riffing on high society galas, those fancy balls where the elite sip champagne and pretend they're not bored out of their skulls. But Bon, being Bon, flips it on its head. He's not talking about waltzes and canapes. Oh no, he's layering in that delicious double meaning we all love to pretend we don't get. The lyrics. I'm ever upper class high society, God's gift to ballroom notoriety. Come on, it's blatant. Bon wrote it with the young brothers, Angus and Malcolm, probably over a few cold ones in a dingy Sydney studio. Malcolm's laying down that chunky riff, Angus is schoolboy shorting around, and Bon's cackling as he pens lines like, my balls are always bouncing, to the left and to the right. Genius, right? It's like they sat there thinking, how can we make a song about posh parties that sounds exactly like it's about, well, you know. And here's a fun aside. Bon had already dipped his toe in ball-themed waters with She's Got Balls on their earlier album High Voltage, which was basically a love letter, or divorce note, to his ex-wife Irene. Talk about personal inspiration. What if Bon had written a whole concept album just on testicular puns? We'd have tracks like Nutcracker Suite or Sack Lunch Special. Thankfully, they kept it to this one gem, but it shows AC/DC's early vibe, raw, rebellious, and refusing to take themselves too seriously. They weren't out to change the world, they just wanted to make you laugh till beer shot out your nose. Fast forward to the recording sessions for Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap, AC/DC's third studio album Down Under. It's 1976, and the band's holed up at Albert Studios in Sydney with producers Harry Vander and George Young. Yeah, that's Malcolm and Angus's big brother, the unsung hero who shaped their sound like a mad scientist with a guitar amp. The album's a beast. Tracks like the title cut, Problem Child and Jailbreak are all fire and fury, but Big Balls sneaks in as this sly interlude, clocking in at just over 2.5 minutes of pure mischief. Bon delivers it with this faux posh British accent, all snooty and slurred, like a drunk lord at a fox hunt. It's hilarious. Listen close, and you'll hear the band cracking up in the background vocals, chanting, "We've got the biggest balls of them all," like a rowdy choir in a pub brawl. Shenanigans? Oh, plenty. The sessions were fueled by whatever was cheap and potent, with Bon reportedly showing up with tales from the road that made even the engineers blush. One obscure tidbit: the album's Australian cover featured a gritty motel scene, but the international version got sanitized for prudes overseas. And get this, Dirty Deeds didn't even hit the US until 1981, after Bon's tragic passing in 1980. Atlantic Records thought it was too raw, too Aussie, too ballsy. They held it back, fearing it wouldn't fly with American radio. Imagine the execs in suits, sweating over lyrics like that. What if the PTA hears this? Meanwhile, in Oz, it dropped in September '76 and shot up the charts, proving AC/DC could mix menace with mirth. Release day was no smooth sail either. Bootlegs floated around and fans down under were already moshing to Big Balls Live, where Bon would ham it up, thrusting the mic like he was conducting an orchestra of indecency. It's the kind of track that could have been filler, but nope. It became the album's secret weapon, the one that made Dirty Deeds feel like a party crashing through your speakers. Now, let's crank up the volume on how Big Balls ballooned, pun very much intended, into mythic status. This wasn't just a ditty, it stirred up controversies like a hornet's nest at a picnic. First off, the lyrics. In the 70s and 80s, rock was under fire from moral guardians everywhere. AC/DC, with their devil-horned logo and hell-raising image, got slapped with the satanic label faster than you can say parental advisory. Remember the backmasking hysteria? Folks claimed if you spun records backward, you'd hear hidden messages from the devil himself. For AC/DC, it hit peak absurdity with tracks like Highway to Hell, where reversed playback supposedly whispered, "Satan's gonna get ya," or some nonsense. Angus Young laughed it off in interviews. You didn't need to play it backward, we were saying it forward. But debunk time. No such myths specifically tied to big balls, thank goodness. If you reverse it, you just get Bon sounding like a chipmunk gargling whiskey. Nothing demonic, unless bad karaoke counts. Still, the song fueled the fire. Prudes called it obscene, a gateway to delinquency. Radio stations balked, some banning it outright, while others played it censored, which is like serving beer without the buzz. Culturally, it rippled out like a shockwave. Gen X kids snuck it onto mixtapes, giggling in basements, turning it into a rite of passage. It inspired tribute bands. There's even ones named Big Balls in Norway and Texas, because why not? And the parodies? Endless. In 2015, someone rewrote it about Tom Brady's Deflategate scandal. He's got big balls, but they're underinflated. Classic. It popped up in Stephen King's Dr. Sleep, nodding to its naughty legacy. Hell, even Wolfgang Van Halen shared a story of his dad Eddie playing it for him as a kid, both cracking up. Big Balls didn't just entertain, it poked at society's uptight underbelly, proving rock could be smart-ass satire wrapped in a riff. What if the Vatican covered it? We've got the biggest bells of them all. Nah, they'd probably excommunicate the choir. Fast forward to today, and the legacy of Big Balls is as bouncy as ever. See what I did there? AC/DC's still touring stadiums, with Angus duck-walking like he invented electricity, and this song remains a live staple, often with Brian Johnson channeling Bon's smirk. It's influenced everything from comedy sketches to memes. Hell, it's even covered by furry bands. Yeah, look up Scratch 21's version if you're feeling adventurous. Obscure weirdness? The song's ending gang vocals have fans debating lyrics to this day. Is it balls or some garbled chant? Spoiler, it's just rowdy fun. Ripple effects? It helps cement AC/DC's rep as the kings of irreverent rock, paving the way for bands like Guns N' Roses or even Foo Fighters to mix humor with headbanging. Culturally, it's a time capsule of 70s rebellion, anti-establishment, pro-laughs, and unapologetically crude. But here's the respectful nod. Bon Scott was a genius wordsmith, turning juvenile jokes into anthems that endure. Without him, AC/DC might have been just another riff machine. With him, they became legends. And the lasting weirdness? Fans still argue if it's about actual balls or just parties. Spoiler, it's both, and that's the beauty. What if aliens intercepted it as humanity's first contact? Greetings, Earthlings. We admire your spherical celebrations. We'd probably start an intergalactic mosh pit. That was a wild ride, wasn't it? If Big Balls taught us anything, it's that rock and roll thrives on a good laugh and a killer hook. Hit that like button if it made you chuckle. Subscribe for more deep dives into music's underbelly. Next up, maybe we tackle another AC/DC banger. Share your favorite pun in the comments. Let's keep the balls rolling. Thanks for watching. Stay ballsy out there.